Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling, and shall we see what's going on our wonderful island of Fawnhallow today? Where, where we'll be relaxing as per usual. As I'm recording this just before D&D, which was an issue today, but I thought I was going to be busy today, but it turns out I wasn't busy today, so here we are basically. I was just doing some last minute prep for D&D. I think it's basically ready. Again, it's very difficult to know what to do here because it's a little bit open-ended, by my own design, I suppose. You know, I'm not going to pretend that it's my player's fault that it's open-ended, but they could kind of do almost anything, which makes it pretty hard to determine what they would do. But hello everyone, right now in Fawnhallow at 6:59 PM on Thursday, August 20th, 2026. I have a prediction though, I have a prediction of the next sort of Strawberry Beats will be more akin to, shall we say, combat ones, maybe. They also might go a lot quicker. I couldn't possibly tell you, to be honest. I just don't know. Wait, did I do this thing? I was considering doing something thingamajig, which I'm not sure if I ended up doing, so I guess I will just double check real quick. I don't think I did it because the video DR is because I was mentioned this before that in D&D I like to give my players personal items. You are, I know your name. Oh, Mary, that's it. I was gonna say Mitzi and I was like, I know that's wrong. You're not Mitzi. But you have a vibe of Mitzi in your name. I saw Cat around here earlier as well. Now we have Raymond, so we have a lot of kitties about the place. But yeah, I like to give custom items to my D&D, to my players as their characters, because I think it's, for one, I can help fulfill a fantasy or whatever they want their character to necessarily do. I can make things feel like you're Diva, right? Or Gigi. I don't know which one you are. You're Gigi, I see. I can allow my character to fulfill something which is more niche or what they want, and then I can have things tied back together. And this group is particularly in a moment where you know, there's going to be a sort of run of more personal, not necessarily, depending on how we interact with it, but personally crafted areas. That's probably the wrong way to put it, because it's not so much, it's not as crafted as you might think. Your mileage may vary. But in the last one, I used it to give a new updated feature, and then it was give a new feature, like one of its new items, and then I used it to also update one of the previous features, which was not as strong as I necessarily hoped it to be. And then I thought about it, and I said it to my party members afterwards. I was like, okay, you shouldn't expect that everyone's going to get this. Like, each time it says this player was due theirs, and this was a good a time as any to give it, because they're not in their story arc right now, so it would be quite difficult otherwise. But I think every other character, every other player has their... Does every player have their third thing? Yes, you have your third one. You have your third one. You have your third one. Right? You don't have your upgraded one. And I was basically... you don't have your third one. That's true. What is your third one? I see. Okay, so not every character has their third one. More so in the other campaign. I think everyone in this campaign will be all but one, but I think it'll be quite telegraphed when this character will get their third one, quote quote. And the other group is kind of difficult in the moment right now to give them their third one because of where they are. I guess I could, but... Anyway, but I was thinking about it, I was like, I could basically use these moments as a thing to be like, okay, let's update any of the previous ones, which I think are not as effective. So I'm doing it with some of the previous... for the other party as well, like basically like reviewing the earliest ones and being like, okay, what parts were fun to engage with, what parts are not fun to engage with, and we're giving them a buff essentially. So I gave a really big buff to the first one because I put like a lot of like tangentials on it because I was like, I think this is really strong if they use this like in a tactical way. But then, not that they haven't used it in a tactical way, but they haven't like abused it in a tactical way. You know, they're not a power gamer. So I was like, okay, you know, I'm free to give it like a bit more of a boost, I think. Because I want them to use it, to be honest. So it'll be a lot of fun, I think. But I think this player's character's items are all actually pretty strong already. So I think actually there is no need to give it a buff. I mean, we could give it a buff. We could change it like that. That's true, but we can give like a minor buff. I don't know. That doesn't really make sense, I think, lore-wise here, though. So maybe I won't. I think that's okay. We can give a buff in the future, I suppose, when you know, when we power creep everything ourselves and then we just buff things more. I'm not too worried about power creep as long as, I mean, we have I bet you are. We have a system of 3 or 4 players in each campaign. As long as they're balanced with each other, that's all that really matters. But yeah, it's interesting. Would I be good at balancing a game or that sort of thing? I don't really know, to be honest. Probably not. It's hard to say because obviously the stuff I've done here is like I've very purposefully, I should say, made them very strong. Intentionally so. I want them to feel strong. I want them to be strong. But so much so that like some of these features definitely power creep like other features. To probably quite an insane degree, I would think, but I don't know. I am just kind of curious of what this D&D session is going to look like, because I don't know. It's kind of going to be up to them, to be honest. There's a few ways it can go. I realised I didn't prepare for that, did I? Or did I prepare for that? I don't know if I prepared for this possible combat. Oh, I didn't prepare for this combat. Oh no. That's okay. We'll do it now. Okay, so I need to think about this. What would make sense? It would need to be that. Okay. No, would it be that? No, I got it backwards. It would be that, wouldn't it? Yes, I got it backwards. It'd be that. Okay, so maybe I can just use this. I wasn't initially going to use this, but I'm like, I don't know. I think this is too scary a thing to use. If anything, I think they might. Maybe they'll run for it, but I also think it's a bit weird. I do kind of like this monster. I'm basically thinking like what combat enemy should I use, and I bought Tome of Beasts a while back, and it's been very, very useful to have. Not only is the general monster stronger in this, it's a lot more interesting, I think, because they have like a lot of weird things. Should we do this one? I think this is an okay one. Maybe we can do this one. How complicated is this one? It's a little bit complicated. What weird spells this one has access to? Okay, but it's alright. I'll figure it out, I think, in a moment. Whoa, this one does a lot of damage. Holy moly. It is kind of squishy, though. Oh, I see. That's why. So I was just looking at the stat block. I won't give it away, in case they don't actually stumble across this. It was very interesting, because I had to basically prepare combat encounters for each of these situations. I haven't quite finished this combat encounter. I don't think they'll make it there unless they really like hustle for everything. In which case, if they do, then that's my own fault, I suppose, that everything happens so quickly. But that's okay. If things happen like that, things happen like that. I don't know, I've got all my videos, I suppose, recorded and stuff. Technically, I probably should record like another episode of Isle of Sea and Sky today. I don't have time to, is the problem. I have a strong feeling I won't. Because I was considering doing it last night, but I didn't. I did record the Animal Crossing episodes last night. Which I don't know if I actually titled them. I hope I did. But yeah, Quaz, I'm not going to be here for tomorrow and the day after. Oh, actually, I will have time on Sunday. I think about it to record a couple of episodes, so it's probably not too bad. Oh, I haven't titled them. Okay, let's title them now. What was the last Happy in Paradise thing we did? It was Leonardo's. So this one is... I can't remember what these customizations are. Oh, it's Sylvana, wasn't it? Spoilers, I suppose. I thought this was quite a cute customization. Kind of. I can remember this one. I can't remember what the other one was, despite the fact I remember they were very similar in vibe. Wikipedia Sylvana, here we go. Fawnhallow resident, of course. So I apologise if I'm spoiled if you're one of if you're an existent person who, it's like, I don't want to be spoiled at all on your future Animal Crossing episodes. I apologise. I've now since spoiled it. It's an underrated. That's what I'll put as my thing. And I'll make sure that it's 2341. It is 24. I can't speak 2341. Import the video. It won't be for today, but it will be for tomorrow. You might be like, have you packed? Let me think. So it'll be for Friday, so it'll be on Saturday at midnight. Okay, getting there. So it's just like meta stuff. Yeah, surprising how easy I suppose it is to actually buff things too strong or buff things too weak. But a lot of times I've made things and then been like, okay, this might be too strong as a character feat, so we'll just keep an eye on it. I think no matter what I've said that to, I don't think anything has been strong enough to be like, this needs like an immediate nerf. In fact, weirdly enough, it kind of feels like everything needs a buff. But that can't possibly be true, but because it's probably just like my players don't use that like at literally every opportunity. It's a lot of things to remember, to be honest, to be like, oh, you have your entire class in, and then you have your... But thankfully, none of my players are power gamers, I think, which would have made it super, super difficult, I think, to balance these properly. Because there's a couple of things I've given out, which I'm just like, this is like such a weird breaking mechanic. It breaks like the rules of game, but it's fun. So I want to see what happens. So like one of them was basically I gave divination, but for charisma-based checks, and I was like, that might be too strong. But we'll see just on like a random feat, because I mean, it's like a really, really good thing for divination wizards, and that's 2 class levels. So I'm giving out something which is probably like equivalent to 1 class level. Turns out that was not that strong. Or my player has probably forgotten about it a lot, which is fair enough as well. That makes my job easier if they only use it in the big moments. That's how I made, which is really strong. I thought this one's like kind of strong, giving a warlock. Like at the time I gave it gave warlock basically access to up to 3 levels of spell slots, just in an item, and like a ridiculous amount of misty steps. This one's actually not too strong. I think this one's actually the most balanced one I've made. I think this weapon is probably a bit too strong damage wise, but it's like, no, that's fine. What is this one? Oh yeah, okay, so that was the divination one. This one's really fun. I actually love this one. I actually don't know if it's any good, but I feel like it could be really good depending on when you use it. But it's basically like when something happens, you can basically double it and make it happen again. It's basically like literally anything. So like one of the simplest use cases is of course that someone uses a really powerful spell, you double it again, and then that really powerful spell is used twice, just immediately in a row. I don't think it's been used yet, but this one's fine because that's just like a regular magical item, which is kind of strong. This one did not end up being as strong as I thought it was, because I actually thought it was actually quite strong for when I gave it. There's like a +1 dagger which has vicious mockery, disguise self, and detect thoughts in it, which is, and I think uses your charisma bonus or something like. Oh no, that's a spell save. This one I knew probably wasn't that strong because it's very niche, so I buffed it again, I think. But I need to change that buff because I need to actually review it, and then I buffed the sword as well. Then this one's actually not too crazy, I think. Ah, interesting. I need to review this before, not this session, but the next session. That one wasn't that strong. This one I thought would have been really, really strong. But I think it's only really, really strong in combination with the third one. But this third one's probably like actually crazy too strong. But again, I'm very, very fortunate that we have no power gamers in our group. Oh, these ones. The star systems I actually think are like really, really strong. Gives a lot of power, some of these. And these ones, I don't think any of these are like crazy strong. I think the most recent one I gave. There's one I gave which is basically any buff always lasts at least 30 minutes. even at its shortest duration, which I think, I was like, this might be too strong. I don't know, let's send it. We'll see what happens. And then my own DMPC doesn't have anything that strong with third feature. I think I know what's going to be going to happen. So I'll just make a note for myself there. And then these ones, I think this one's kind of strong. We're sort of like stacking damage over time. But there's a lot of potential to be very strong. Anyway. So yeah, am I good at balancing? No, probably not. I feel like I'm okay at balancing when I'm trying to be, like, pretty decent at balancing, but I don't know. There's something very fun, I think, about just being like, let's just send it. Just absolutely send it. And just sort of throw things at war, make things really strong, everyone's OP, that sort of thing. It's an interesting consequence, shall we say. But yes. Am I ready for today's session? I think so. I don't know how I could be more or less ready, to be honest, for it. It just kind of is existent. It's just like, well, whatever happens, happens. Okay, so this will be recording on Saturday, so it'll be uploaded on Sunday. There you go. Yes. I suppose I should go back to it, but it's really hard to prepare. I think a lot of this session is probably going to be quite improv heavy. Like, I've given the base of what could happen. Now, what will happen, I don't know. But that therein is a mystery of itself. Yeah. Anyway, I suppose I might know I'll round this episode up here. Maybe if I should do some sort of maybe if I do some sort of prep work, it'll be a little bit smoother. So, anyway, if you have been watching, thank you very much. This has been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dazzling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.